Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. I'm still Cedric, coming to you from Antwerp with the Brussels Beer Project Advent Calendar. Today is Sunday, December 4th. I am keeping up quite nicely. Let's hope we can keep it that way. We've had two new Babylon contenders, the Ken and the Chun-Li, and we've had the Tropical Sour. Which tells me that today is not gonna be the third contender. We still have Sagat and Ryu. Today is not gonna be one of those, I guess, but I think we can establish that today, like 4th out of 24, so 1/6 of the calendar is also a Brussels Beer Project beer. Then we might be in for a 100% BBP calendar. So without further ado, we got 6 here, 5 here, 7, 4. As you might see, I've eliminated the Lazy Susan so I can grab my beers with one hand. Another BBP bottle cap. So I'm thinking that Duck Brewing and Brasserie de la Zen and all the others have been eliminated. King. This is odd. I actually don't know this one. Well, I say I don't know this one. The only thing I know about this one is that they've had, before they've had the Street Fighter series, the Babylon series, they've had two prototypes named King and Kong, and they've pitted them against each other. So not much info on the label, just the Brussels Beer Project logo, their iconic label in silver and blue this time. King in the same font that we have the Ken and the Ryu and the Chun-Li and the Sagat. Brussels Beer Project, 33 centiliters and 6.5% ABV. It looks quite clear, well, a bit hazy maybe, but I mean it looks quite light, quite blonde. What does this say? Contains barley malt and wheat malt. Okay, that gives us something. Still good for a year, so it's quite fresh. We take you on a road trip from Belgium to Bavaria, from triple to German wheat, with no shortcut and loads of fun detours. King is facing Kang on the way to triumph. Okay. Who will be the first to pull over, join the arena and pick the best? I honestly have no idea whether this poll is still up and running. Or maybe it's the next poll, I don't know. I do want to check one thing here. Untappd Brussels Beer Project King. All I can find here is 6% ABV, and it's a 6.5. Belgian blonde, and only one global check-in. That's odd. Now let me check for Kong. Nope. So I am guessing that this is maybe a new poll. Let's find out. My trusty tasting glass here. Ooh, that's quite active, not to say aggressive. I already have 1/2 centimeter of foam in the bottle and I saw some huge bubbles, so this was under quite some pressure. Oh, that smells good. Could this be smoked? I actually get some Rauchbier, some smoked malt. Even a bit of bacon and wood. It is very, very pale from the first glance. It does pour beautifully. I don't know if the camera really captures it, but have you seen that swirl, that carbon dioxide swirl, those waves of bubbles? I really like that. Very active, very pale, slightly hazy. Big head of foam, very dense foam as well. Very slick. Now I still get some, yeah, I'm not gonna say roasted, I'm gonna stick with smoked. Of course roasted we would see in the color, but yeah. It reminds me of when I was in Kafpots in Trier. And we've tried some Rauchbier. Reminds me of this. And now that I get a larger surface area, of course it releases more aromas, more volatile aromas as well. And I do get some refreshing fruity scents as well. I do like that nice pale but still golden yellow color. And the foam does stick, so okay. I'm intrigued. I have no idea where to place this or... Okay, let's have a sip. It doesn't taste smoked. That's beautifully done. It's not heavy at all. It's actually, it has a quite medium to full mouthfeel. It's rather low in alcohol but high on carbon dioxide, so that explains a lot. It does have wheat in it, which also explains a fuller mouthfeel. But it's also slightly bitter in the back of the throat. Very refreshing and dare I say fruity. It's not IPA fruity, it's not citrusy, but it has a sweet edge. Oh wow, I'm actually going back to the description on the bottle here. From triple to German wheat. Did they actually just make a wheat triple? And I do get this slightly, it's not very outspoken, but a very slight hint of banana. And some coriander. I think they actually managed to make a light wheat triple. Now I do have a great dilemma, because now I don't know where to classify this in my playlists. Do I put this under wheat beer or Weizen? Do I put this under triple? I'll probably do both, but I do really, really like this. Now, unfortunately, the advent calendar page crashed on my phone's browser, so I can't open today's little square, so I don't know what they're saying there. I'm guessing it will be the same text as on the bottle, but with the first Babylon, they did give away that all 4 would be in the box. So I'm wondering now if we can have Kong as well. I'm very curious about that too. Actually, this is exactly why I still like the Brussels Beer Project Advent Calendar. Okay, it has its downsides this year. I've sort of had the idea that it was sturdier last year, and I'm slightly disappointed that they used the same artwork. Still beautiful, thanks Lucille, but yeah, they could have used a new one. Maybe they just had so many left. But Brussels Beer Project, I think on Untappd, they're nearing 300 beers in the years that they've been open. And they've made some beers that to my taste were horrible. And I don't believe that they've ever made a bad beer. But to my taste were horrible. And yeah, like the day before yesterday, the Tropical Sour was absolutely not my cup of tea. Actually, someone called me out on it. I think, Patrick, was that you? Called me out on it, saying someone didn't like this on Untappd. Sorry. But then they do make beers that I absolutely love, like this one. So I'm thinking that this would probably get like an 8 out of 10, a 4 on Untappd. Yeah. And even though yesterday we've had something that I would compare to a New England IPA, a very fruity tropical IPA with a bitter edge, this is a lot more bitter, but it does have that soft edge from the wheat and the banana from the yeast esters, I'm presuming. But it has seen some hops, maybe not a dry hop, but it has seen some hops some bitter hops in the cooking step, as most beers. I would actually pair this with the same food. So with marinated meats on the barbecue, but also with some fat fish, and this would maybe even go as an aperitif, an apéro. Because basically an aperitif should be tasty, slightly bitter, and get your stomach working, because that's why we sell aperitifs. This would be awesome. Or half of this, because we don't want to get your stomach working and then fill it up right away. Okay, as usual, I'm gonna leave it at that. So if you like this video, hit that thumb. I am very curious if any of you have ever tasted this or knows more about this. I'd love to know more. Brussels Beer Project, if any of you guys are watching, who knows, get in touch with me. I'm very curious. Put this in your newsletter. And yeah, if you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell icon, you'll get notified whenever I upload something. And we keep counting down. 20 more days till Christmas. Cheers, you guys.